Okay, we'll be fixing the Joy-Con that sticks, and these are the tools we'll need for that. All the numbers for these screwdrivers are on here. Here's our part that we ordered. We'll go ahead and start by opening up the back of this case first. And we'll use the larger of these screwdrivers. There's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Seems to be the weak part of these controllers. So here's the 4. We're going to lay them on top there so we can remember where these are coming from. There's going to be a few screws. We're going to use this to pry open. There's a little line right here, if you can see it, that splits the controller into 2 pieces. And it goes all the way around. It's really light here, you can see. So you can kind of find a spot that it'll go into and push it in. Try to hold the controller firmly so it doesn't split apart in your hand. As soon as you get it in, you just twist it a little bit, like that. Don't push it all the way in because there's some wires, and you don't want to pull it off right away just because the wires are connected. As soon as it's a little bit loose, you're going to just lift lightly and push over, because you got a couple connected wires there, so you want to make sure you don't pull it too hard. Lay it down flat. Here's your battery. You'll need to lift up the battery first. There's a little sensor right here. If you put your finger right behind the battery, you can lift it up. And lift it up and over. And just lay it on the side here. It's probably a good idea to disconnect the battery, which is right in there. And to disconnect it, you'll pull back and slightly up, because there's little clamps on the left and right side of that. I'm going to go ahead and remove these screws that hold this red cover. The other controller, the blue one, the screws are a little bit different. They're actually inside of this cover piece. They're right on top. So I believe we need the other screwdriver for this, the smaller one. And you'll want to set them aside in a way so that you remember where they go. They should all be the same size, but I like to map it out where I put it. This piece may come off, but we'll put it right back. I'll show you where it goes. Here's the top one. And the bottom one. There's a cable that's connected here. You could remove that. However, we're gonna leave it there. The less I remove, the easier. I don't really need to remove that as long as this piece is out the way. This is the piece we're gonna replace. It has 2 screws on it, and then there's a connector that slides in here. You want to be careful with this connector when you're sliding it back in with this new piece. You want to hold it on that end piece where it's a little thicker. We'll get to that in a second when we're putting it back. But you unscrew this. And I will put that on the 3rd row. So I have row 1, row 2, row 3 for myself as a guide. So this was the outside stuff, the middle, and this last piece here. Thankfully this one is magnetic, so I'm able to pull them off easily. So here's where I'll use my tweezers that came with the kit cable out, and when you pull it out, you'll want to slide it back, straight to the back. So you'll grab it and you'll pull it towards, and it slides right back out this way. And this piece, you'll have to kind of just pull straight up or wiggle a little bit to get it over the hole. So this is our old piece. And like I said, this isn't the original one. This is why we're having problems with this one. So this is no good. There's our new one. Hopefully it'll last longer. And we'll flip it the same way that the old one was in, and we'll shove this back through there. So you're gonna lay it right there and wiggle it a little bit till it clicks in, and it'll go right in. Don't be afraid, just push it in and wiggle it and push it in. So now it's in. And probably would be easier if you got the wire in before screwing in the piece. If you can find tweezers that are better at gripping, you'll want to push it back in there this way. Okay. Now I will put these screws back on. Okay, so this piece going back is almost like a puzzle piece, if I remember right. I twisted it. Inverted it somehow. This is the one that helps having skinnier fingers, but I don't think I have those. Yes, it was this way. Yeah. Okay. Nope. Okay. If this ever pops on you, this piece right here, it just has one spring in there, and that spring goes against that little square wall back there. If you could see it, it's right inside there. And you could just lay it flat, and when you put this over it, it'll hold it in place. So let's put these screws back in. And then the battery right where it was, and then this, whatever that is, slides right back in to there. And I think those are all the screws that go in. And then you flip over the back cover, and you'll hear it click lightly, and you'll know that you have it sitting correctly in there. So here, it'll actually slide through and it'll click. And then you screw in the last 4, and you're good to go. Get back to your games until your next repair. Definitely is better, or cheaper I should say, than buying new controllers. I'm pushing the buttons, that's why it's blinking. Just trying to connect. And then once you turn it back on, you may have to go to the settings on your Nintendo Switch to calibrate. And that's it. It clicks, it moves nicely. Now hopefully it doesn't stick in the game, because this should be a new one. Thanks for watching.